Yeah, greetings in the name of the Most High. Yeah, today we're going to do a video on the colon and teach you how to keep the colon healthy and keep yourself from getting sick, because the colon is the earth, the large bowel or the large intestines we call it. Now let's look at how the colon is supposed to be. That's the right shape of your colon, it's like a U. And if you keep it this way, it's going to keep you well. If you eat a lot of bad foods, it's going to come like that. And when you have a colon like that, you're going to have a lot of problems eventually, because you're going to have what we call thin stool or constipation. All right? Because the colon is tied up. So this is the bad colon. All these are bad colons. And this is the right colon. That's the way the colon is supposed to look. See? But a lot of us eat so much devitalized food and lots of meats that we kill the colon walls and cause our colon to become like that over here. All right? Now let's look at what happens to our digestive system after we eat foods. The food leaves the stomach after it is processed and get into the duodenum. That's the beginning of the small intestines, and then it comes down into the small intestines. Yeah, and after the small intestines, which is the first organ that cleans your blood, takes out the nutrients from the food. It sends it to the ileocecal valve, opens the valve, and then the waste comes in, and the valve closes. The valve can remain open. If the valve don't close properly because of waste around here, you can have trouble in your gallbladder long term, gallstones. All right, so the valve close, and then the foods come over here now, and it goes up. When it reaches over here, the transverse colon over here start to have what we call the peristalsis movement, where it sends a lot of water to help the stool to become soft. By the time your stool reach over here in the splenic flexure, it becomes very bulky, and then you have your bowel movement. Right? That's how it works. Now, if you don't have good liver health, you're going to have trouble in your colon. All right. So let's look at how the colon corresponds to other organs. Your appendix is a security guard, looking at what is coming back from over here to come down over here. If you don't answer the call to go to the bathroom, then your waste, instead of going up, comes back over here, and then the appendix will send a fluid to neutralize the stool from coming back to go back into the small intestines. If that happens on a regular basis, you will get what we call appendicitis. All right? So your appendix have a job. God didn't put it there for nothing. Right? But around the appendix is what we have a lot we call a legion of worms. And if you lose your appendix, you are prone to getting cancer faster in the colon. All right? Don't forget that. Right? All around the ascending colon correspond to the mammary glands, the asthma, your thymus gland, and your pituitary gland in your brain. And then right past the ascending colon is called the hepatic flexure. And the hepatic flexure corresponds to your liver, your gallbladder, and your heart. And then you come across to the transverse colon now. And the transverse colon corresponds to your throat, your bronchioles, your esophagus, and your trachea. That's why when you lose your tonsils, you have troubles down here. And then we have the diverticular. A lot of people get what we call diverticulitis, inflammation of the diverticula, because they have waste get into the pocket of the diverticula and cause them to have diverticulitis. And then you have the splenic flexure, which corresponds to your stomach. And then you come down here to the descendant colon, correspond to the adrenal gland, the kidneys. And then the descendant colon comes down to right into the sigmoid colon, that corresponds to the cerebrospinal fluid and the testicles and the bladder. And then when you get to the sigmoid colon now, that's very important now. If you don't squat when you are going to the bathroom and you just sit on the toilet bowl, your waste will stay here because the sigmoid colon will squeeze together and cause your waste to stay around here, and a few things will happen that's negative. You're going to get what we call polyps in the colon, or you get what we call sigmoid carcinoma, cancer in the sigmoid colon, or you get troubles in the prostate gland or in the uterus. See? Because there's waste sitting around the sigmoid colon. See? So you must squat. If you don't squat, you're going to have troubles down here. And you get hemorrhoids or piles. Right. Bad circulation in the rectum. Now, when you have lots of acid floating around in the colon walls, you start to get irritable bowel syndrome, mucus colitis, diverticulitis, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, ileitis, and all the itis, because now you cause this organ, which we call a sewage system, to become inflamed, because all these conditions are what we call inflammation of the large bowel. That's what it is. Because irritation of the bowel causes inflammation. So if you eat a lot of food that is devitalizing to this organ, a lot of starches, that is, we call refined carbohydrates, or processed foods, or too much meat, or you have a traffic jam from over here to over here, you're going to get some kind of bowel disease or cancer in your bowels. And if you are constipated as a woman, you will have recycling estrogen coming back into the portal vessel, your liver, and causing your fibroids to grow, or causing a woman to get breast cancer long term. So all diseases starts in the sewage system. Don't forget that. Now, when you have troubles in your liver, it's because you have troubles in the hepatic flexure. When you have troubles in your gallbladder and your heart, it's because you have troubles in the hepatic flexure. When you have troubles in your stomach, it's because you have troubles in the splenic flexure. When you have troubles in the prostate gland and the uterus, it's because you have troubles in the sigmoid colon. When you have troubles in your back, it's because you have troubles in the descending colon. See? When you have troubles in your kidneys, because you have waste sitting in the part of the colon we call the descending colon. Secondly, now, to follow me now. When you eat devitalized foods, these are called the walls of the colon, and this is the passage of the colon. When you eat lots of devitalized foods, processed foods that is, especially starches, they seem to clog up the walls of your colon. And once the walls are clogged up, you start to get thin stool, because the passage of your colon become thin. So when you go to the bathroom, you start to have thin stool like that over here. See? Because now the colon walls is all messed up. You understand? That's why keeping the colon healthy is important. That's why you need 4 colonics per year if you are living in the US, or you must have an enema bag in your house to keep the colon well. That's very significant. Now, if you have troubles in your cecum, that's where you keep all the a lot of the waste around here, the cecum. You're going to have troubles right around this area here, and you're going to cause you to have cancer in your colon, because colon cancer is on the rise, not only in Grenada but also in America. That's because you're not keeping this colon healthy. In your colon, you have trillion of good bacteria right in here, and they protect you. But if you eat lots of devitalized foods and you have what we call putrefaction, meaning that you have gases that builds up in here, then the bad bacteria will take over the good bacteria, and you will start to get bloating. Bloating means that you feel your belly get big and hard, and you start to get what we call gases, because you don't have good elimination from here. So you must keep this organ here healthy on a regular basis. If you have your house and you have your sewage system outside, and you have your toilet bowl in your house, and you are having a blockage outside, 20 feet outside, it comes back in your house and cause your house to smell in your toilet bowl. Same principle in this organ here. You must keep it healthy, and in order for you to do that, you must eat the right foods. Herbs, cascara sagrada, yellow dock root, catnip, yarrow, they all keep this organ here well, because they keep the movements going. We're going to have more videos on colon health. So until, give God the glory, and do have a blessed day in the name of Jehovah. Peace to everyone. Keep the colon healthy.